Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The bold and the beautiful spoilers. Will RJ leave LA over Luna horror, B and B writers decide future path? The bold and the beautiful B and B. Spoilers reveal that RJ Forrester, Joshua Hoffman, has done his best to be the perfect boyfriend for Luna Nozowa, Lisa Yamada. But he has no idea that he's dating a psycho who locked his sister in a cage. Steffi Forrester, Jacqueline Myth-Hinswood, has been facing a total nightmare thanks to Luna, who also committed the Il Giardino murders and framed Poppy Nozowa, Romy Park, so she could have Bill Spencer, Dawn Diamond, all to herself. Of course, we should mention B and B's latest rewrite, which involves Luna knowing exactly what she was doing when she went to bed with Zend Forrester Dominguez, Delon de Metz. Luna only pretended to be drugged, so she willingly cheated on RJ with Zend, and suggested it was the best passion of her life. It's clear that Luna's list of offenses is getting worse every day. So how will RJ feel once the whole truth comes out? It'll certainly be hard for RJ to wrap his head around the depth of Luna's deception. Luna was never the sweet, innocent girl she seemed to be, so it'll be tough for RJ to come to grips with all her transgressions. RJ could easily need some time to heal away from Los Angeles under the circumstances. It wouldn't be surprising if RJ decided to leave town over all the Luna horror. RJ used to travel the world as an influencer, so he might decide to get back out there and find a new sense of purpose. All the Luna memories may be too fresh for RJ to stick around LA following her full exposure. No matter the outcome for Luna, RJ will need to figure out a path forward that doesn't include her. Perhaps RJ could visit Thomas Forrester, Matthew Atkinson, in Paris, and head to some other countries as he works to get past his sorrow. Naturally, it's also possible RJ will stay in LA and find love with someone else, or simply lean on his family members for a while. It all depends on what B&B writers have in the works for RJ, so we'll bring you more predictions on his future. The bold and the beautiful spoilers say some wild Luna drama is on the way, so stay tuned for updates on all the alarming news and what it'll mean for RJ's next chapter. The sun was setting over the Los Angeles skyline, casting a golden hue over Forrester Creations as RJ Forrester stood by the large window in his office. The fashion house was quiet, with the usual buzz of activity winding down for the evening. But RJ's mind was far from peaceful. The horror that had unfolded in recent weeks, involving Luna, had shaken him to his core, leaving him to question his place in LA, and whether he should continue on the path he had so eagerly embraced. RJ, the beloved son of Ridge Forrester and Brooke Logan, had returned to LA with high hopes and big dreams. He wanted to make a name for himself in the fashion industry, stepping out of the long shadows cast by his iconic parents. But fate, as it often does in the world of the bold and the beautiful, had other plans. Luna, a beautiful and mysterious woman with a dark past, had entered RJ's life like a whirlwind. Their connection was immediate and intense, drawing them together in ways neither of them could explain. It was as if they had known each other in a previous life, their souls intertwined by some invisible thread. But beneath Luna's enchanting exterior lurked secrets that threatened to destroy everything RJ held dear. The revelation of Luna's true identity and her dangerous ties to a criminal organization had sent shockwaves through the Forrester family. RJ had been caught in the crossfire, both literally and figuratively, as Luna's enemies sought to use him as leverage. The situation escalated to a terrifying climax, with Luna's life hanging in the balance and RJ forced to make impossible choices. Now, as RJ stared out at the sprawling city below, he couldn't shake the feeling that everything had changed. The city that once felt like home now seemed cold and unwelcoming, a place filled with memories of love and loss. He had come to LA to find his purpose, but instead, he had found pain and heartbreak. RJ's mind raced as he considered his options. He could stay in LA, continue working at Forrester Creations, and try to move on from the trauma of recent events. But the scars left by the Luna horror were deep, and RJ wasn't sure if he could ever fully heal if he remained in the city where it all happened. Leaving LA meant leaving behind his family, his friends, and the life he had built for himself. But it also meant a chance to start fresh, to put the past behind him and find peace. The thought of leaving was both terrifying and liberating. Could he really walk away from it all? As RG wrestled with his emotions, the writers of The Bold and the Beautiful were faced with their own difficult decision. RG's character had been a fan favorite since his return, and his storyline with Luna had captivated audiences. But the fallout from the Luna horror had created a crossroads for RJ's future on the show. Should they write him out of LA, giving him a dramatic exit that would leave viewers on the edge of their seats? Or should they find a way to keep him in the mix, navigating the complexities of life in the aftermath of Luna's betrayal? The writers knew that whatever path they chose, it would have a significant impact on the show's dynamics. RG's departure would leave a void in the Forrester family, one that wouldn't be easily filled. But keeping him in LA would require careful storytelling to ensure that his character didn't lose the spark that had made him so compelling. As the writers debated RJ's fate, they considered the possibilities. One idea was to have RJ leave LA temporarily, allowing him to return at a later time, perhaps with a renewed sense of purpose or a new love interest. This would give his character time to heal and grow, while still keeping the door open for future storylines. Another option was to have RJ stay in LA, but with a twist. Perhaps he could take a step back from the fashion world and explore a different path, one that would allow him to rediscover who he is outside of the Forrester legacy. This could lead to a journey of self-discovery, with RJ finding new passions and forging his own identity. But there was also the possibility of a more drastic change. What if RJ's brush with danger had awakened something within him, a desire to fight back against the forces that had caused so much pain? The writers toyed with the idea of RJ becoming a vigilant of sorts, using his intelligence and resources to take down those who threatened the people he loved. It would be a bold and unexpected move, but one that could add a new layer of depth to his character. As the writers weighed the pros and cons of each option, they knew that whatever decision they made, it would have to be true to RJ's character. He was more than just a Forrester. He was a young man with dreams, fears, and a strong sense of right and wrong. His journey had to reflect that, whether he stayed in LA or left to find his own path. Back in his office, RJ finally turned away from the window. The city below was bathed in darkness now, the lights of LA twinkling like stars. He felt a sense of calm wash over him, as if he had reached a decision. He knew what he had to do, even if it wasn't the easiest choice. The next morning, RJ gathered his family in the Forrester Mansion's living room. The room was filled with tension as Ridge, Brooke, and the others waited for him to speak. RJ took a deep breath, his heart pounding in his chest. He looked at each of them in turn, his eyes filled with determination. "I've thought a lot about everything that's happened," RJ began, his voice steady. "And I've realized that I need to take some time for myself. I need to leave LA for a while and figure out who I am and what I want." Brooke's eyes filled with tears, and Ridge nodded solemnly. They knew this day might come, but it didn't make it any easier to hear. "I don't know how long I'll be gone," RJ continued, "but I need to do this. I need to find peace and make sense of everything that's happened. And when I'm ready, I'll come back." The room was silent as RJ's words sank in. His family understood, even if it broke their hearts to see him go. They knew that RJ needed to heal, and sometimes that meant stepping away from the people and places you love the most. As RJ packed his bags and prepared to leave LA, he felt a sense of hope for the first time in weeks. He didn't know what the future held, but he knew that this was the right decision. He was ready to face whatever came next, even if it meant walking away from the life he had known. And as the writers of The Bold and the Beautiful put the finishing touches on RJ's exit storyline, they knew that this wasn't the end for RJ Forrester. It was just the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with possibilities and the promise of a brighter future. Whether RJ returned to LA or found his destiny elsewhere, his journey was far from over. The next part of his story was waiting to be written, and the writers couldn't wait to see where it would lead.